Let's have a talk for a minute, shall we? Um, I've been doing research today, and I'm just taking a break for a minute. I wanted to make this video about people that do what I do. We get an enormous amount of messages, emails, messages, different social media apps. You have to understand, we don't just exist on YouTube. We exist on, most of us exist on all the social media platforms. And what that means is we get just an enormous amount of messages every day. I can't speak for everybody, but I get thousands of messages a day. And I try to spend some time every day reading some messages from every app. It's completely impossible to read them all. Um, it just is. But here's the thing, there's something that I've seen building for quite some time, and it's still building. It's still getting worse and worse and worse, and that is the fear. The fear that is coming through the messages. People are scared in this country right now, and it's for good reason, right? I certainly don't want to be dismissive of people's fears because it is for good reason, but I do want to tell you this. They want you scared. They scare you to get elected. They run fear in their campaigns. And when I say they, I'm talking about the politicians and the media. And there's something else you need to understand. It is typically your side that wants you scared the most. It is your side. It's the media that you absorb and watch. When we have a Democrat in office, the right-wing media does everything it can to scare the bejesus out of those right-leaning voters. And the exact same thing happens when there's a Republican office. And that's, the left-wing media, mainstream media, however you want to label it, it doesn't matter. They are going to do everything they can to instill as much fear in you as they possibly can. And that doesn't mean, that doesn't mean that the fear is not justified. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is research. Research everything deeply. Go away from the sources that you're comfortable with. Find the whole truth. People get angry with me quite often because I don't talk about certain things, and I've covered this before about influencers being canceled for talking about things and sharing opinions that others don't share. One of the other reasons influencers don't talk about things is because a lot of people get very upset over some event that occurs. And when you're someone like me and you research something really deeply, you come to the conclusion that most of what is upsetting people is largely untrue and a twisting of the facts, hyperbole, right? And I will share that information with people when I feel comfortable enough to do so. When the fear and is just so unbelievably high, when it's what everyone is talking about and the fear is just through the roof and the anger is through the roof, if you sit down and you try to share the facts about just any event, this isn't about any one particular thing, but there's so many events that occur every day now that scare the crap out of people, let's be honest. If I or anyone else is an influencer or creator, whatever you want to call us, if we were to sit down and just go through the facts of that, we would still be admonished. We would be hated, right? Because somehow the research that we did would be wrong. Because that's, when people get really scared, they get really attached to those feelings, right? And I think it's very important, especially in times like now, when there are a ton of things to truly be fearful of. And I believe it 10,000%. We have a lot to be fearful of, more than at any time in my life. More than at any time in my life. By far. It helps us to try to find the truth in everything. And a lot of those things that we are afraid of, we will find the truth, and sometimes it'll make it even worse. Sometimes we'll be more fearful of it once we really get down into the weeds and see what's really happening. Sometimes it'll make us more fearful of it, and sometimes we'll be like, what's the big deal? Right? And that's because we're still trusting what the media is telling us. We're still trusting what all of these groups from outside who have something to gain are telling us. It is not fair or right that people should have to live in fear because of other people's greed. And that's what this is. Media companies make their money just like I do, right? They make money through views, clicks, shares. The TV ad revenue is still a thing, but the online revenue, they make their money the same way people like me, people like Tennessee Brando, they make their money the same way. And they have absolutely they have nothing stopping them from just being completely unscrupulous about what they say. They will put that dollar before their own dignity, before the truth. It's all about the dollar. It's all about the dollar. So, my point is, let us try to not be consumed by fear over things we haven't gotten the full story from yet, right? Let us not do that. Also, let's seek out and find and help those who want to deliver us the truth, and make sure that they understand it's safe for them to do so. There's a lot of people right now on social media who are literally afraid to say things that, you have to understand. There's fear of retribution from the government. So these people just aren't dealing with fear of retribution from followers or how they're going to be viewed in a very judgmental world that we live in now. Retribution from the government is a real thing as well. So let's be supportive of those people when they do that, because they are exposing themselves. They're making themselves very vulnerable in a digital format. Exposing themselves to threats, death threats, just general hate, being canceled, all of it. But I think I'll finish with this. It's not worth it. It's not worth it spending so much of your time being afraid of something. And as someone who's on social media, maybe consume less of it. It can be very depressing, right? And that doesn't mean forget about it and forget about what's happening. I just mean, practically speaking, the odds are that we are in a phase of our history that is going to pass, and we are going to be okay. Most of us. I just realized how terrible that sounded, that I had to say most of us. Take care of your health, take care of your mental health, and don't live your life in fear because of what's happening with this government. That's my message.